This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, and as I'm sure you've heard by now, these mysterious drone sightings are continuing all across the East Coast, sparking a great deal of concern. You've got the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI investigating this right now. They've deployed special drone detection technology that's been requested for New Jersey and New York. And in this video, you've got the FBI speaking out of both sides of their mouth. On one hand saying, we don't know what's going on here. And on the other hand, they're saying there's no threat from the outside. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has chimed in on this, President-elect Donald Trump, suggesting that the government does know what these are. He says they know exactly what is going on, and they need to be transparent with the American people. So it begs the question, what on earth is going on here, guys? Well, there is a new theory. The New Jersey drone sightings may be nuclear sniffers following elevated NYC radiation levels. A lot of this is coming from this man here, CEO of Saxon Aerospace, who put out a video on TikTok suggesting that these are military-grade drones that are trying to sniff out things like gamma rays and radiation. Certainly something to pay close attention to. I also wanted to show you this a drone supplier CEO who says the mysterious drones are using FAA lighting, which would obviously rule out any kind of foreign adversary who is, doing anything nefarious here, like China or Iran. You've also got this New Jersey state senator suggesting that the federal government is hiding something here so massive, he says, involving the drones that they are forced to cover it up in fear of all-out panic from the public. Again, what the heck are they trying to cover up here, folks? Well, there are reports coming out of New Jersey that there is a radioactive medical device that is being lost in transit. Could that be what they're looking for here, or is there something far more nefarious going on? As I reported on a couple of days ago here, here's what they're not telling you about the drones in New Jersey. Very conveniently, the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 is expiring in just 4 days from now, guys, December 20th of this year, and they are now trying to pass a new HR 8610 counter UAS Authority Security Safety and Reauthorization Act of 2024. So could this be what this is all about? I also wanted to show you this video, guys, that I found from over a decade ago. This is from December 31st, 2013. A video titled "New Jersey has been selected as a testing site for an FAA drone mission." Guys, we're going to cover all of this and much more in this video. But really quickly, guys, just before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, guys. Here you can do a one-time donation with PayPal. You can do Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. You could sign up here for a monthly recurring contribution, or here you could send an e-transfer to dan@pressfortruth.ca, or you can send stuff to my P.O. Box, guys. Links for all of this is located in the description below. Thank you so much to anyone who takes 1 minute today to support my efforts to bring you this information here at Press for Truth. All right, guys, check this out. This is a news report from over a decade ago now, talking about how New Jersey has been selected as a go-to testing site for FAA drone missions. Check this out.
The military has been using drones for years, unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs. Now the U.S. government wants to expand the use of drones to include commercial and private use, and New Jersey is among several sites selected nationwide.
This is just an enormous opportunity for the state of New Jersey, and the reality that unmanned aerial systems, UAVs, the technology is there to use them today, but we haven't figured out a way to safely integrate them into domestic airspace.
Rutgers University is partnering with Virginia Tech to conduct the research. Drone research is already underway at the FAA Technical Center in South Jersey. Companies like Amazon have also experimented with adapting drones for commercial purposes. Lobiondo believes the technology has immense potential.
There's an application with agriculture, there's an application with medicine, there's an application with law enforcement, disaster relief, all kinds of things.
There are also economic benefits.
They're talking about billions of dollars of economic opportunity, thousands of jobs. Even if it's only a fraction of that, it's really big. But it puts us on the map, following through on the work that we're already doing here.
The FAA expects there will be 7,500 drones in U.S. airspace within 5 years. Some privacy rights groups and residents have concerns about widespread use of drones. Critics fear they could be used to spy on Americans.
It's not constitutional, and we will go to every effort we can to make sure that there is no abuse of that.
It's pretty scary, but, whatever. It's science. It's what it is.
We have to keep up with technology, but there are concerns about accidents.
Lobiondo believes South Jersey is an ideal testing location because it has military and commercial airspace.
Nobody has the two side by side, so that as this integration into domestic airspace takes place, we can do testing under both scenarios.
The first testing site will likely be up and running in about 6 months.
Again, guys, this is a decades-old video talking about New Jersey being selected as the go-to testing site for FAA drone missions. And again, obviously the technology has progressed quite a bit since then. And here, now that there, are like hundreds of drones just floating around New Jersey, the FBI is quite literally saying they don't know what this is, but yet don't worry about it. Like, check this out.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
right.
crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
The Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey. It is concerning.
Is the public at risk? Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
Now, this same question was already asked by the Federation Administration and the FAA, and this guy, Maracas, who said there are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States, recreational drones, commercial drones, essentially explaining and assuring to the American people that they are investigating this, but basically just brushing it off and saying there's nothing to fear here. And that's what the FBI guy says, too.
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
Well, they do know. In fact, President-elect Donald Trump says exactly that. He says there's absolutely no way the government does not know what's going on here. They are the ones, in fact, who are behind this. And they're not being transparent enough with the American people. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster.
You should
know
tell them.
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster.
Guys, he's absolutely right. Obviously, if this was any kind of a foreign threat, they would have been shot out of the air a long time ago. Obviously, the Pentagon, the American military, is going to know exactly what's going on here, and they're purposefully not being transparent with the American people. And a lot of people think this is because of this potential for nuclear sniffers, and just as to not raise too much concern, but this is what they're suggesting they're doing. The founder of an aerospace company specializing in military-grade drones published a video on TikTok sharing his thoughts on the mystery drone sightings in New Jersey. I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago, he said, who's trying to raise the alarm to the highest levels of our government about one particular nuclear warhead that he said he physically put his hands on that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew this thing was headed towards the United States, he says. He continued, everyone knows that this administration is pushing to get into war with Russia. Let's back up a few years. Remember, when those drones were mysteriously flying across the I-70 from Colorado to Nebraska to Kansas and Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material that came up missing in the U.S., he says. He then went on to explain the various payloads that drones can support, such as laser sensors and optics, and he added, drones have no reason to be flying at nighttime because they don't see shit. Unless you have thermal optic drones, they really don't see stuff at night. Mapping must be done during the day. Ferguson then segued into the purported drone sightings in New Jersey, noting, these drones are not nefarious in intent, but if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying low at night is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. My belief is that these drones are trying to smell something on the ground, if that's gas leaks or radioactive material or whatever it may be. Here he is in this 9-minute TikTok video, which I'll include in the description below, saying just that.
These drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, but I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So, again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important.
Okay, what the heck are they trying to smell? What are they trying to cover up? What kind of false flags may they potentially be setting up here in the lead up to the inauguration next year, January 20th, with Donald Trump? This just in, New Jersey state senator suggests the federal government is hiding something so massive involving the drones that they're forced to cover it up in fear of an all-out panic from the public. The comments were made by State Senator John Bramnick on News Station. He says there must be something going on that they can't tell us because they're so fearful of what the public's going to do when they hear what these drones are doing.
I have a general belief in government, but this is taking me to the end of my belief that government is really being honest. Now, there's been some apparently top secret briefings, right, with Congress people. Now, they come out of that, and I heard Josh Gottheimer come at the representative, and he said, well, I'm not getting a lot of information, but I don't think it's a threat. So my guess is there is information, but they're holding it back. And now what you have is panic. Originally some questions, now you have serious concerns, and at the next point, somebody's going to do something stupid. So the Department of Defense has to come clean with the American public.
So to your point, the FBI says they have no evidence of malicious activity or intent in these drone flights. What is it that they might not be telling us, and why?
Well, no evidence that this is a threat. What does that mean?
Right.
How does that help an average citizen and understand? No evidence of a threat? You mean they didn't do anything sinister yet? Well, yet. Yeah, I probably can make that statement, and I have no top secret clearance. Based on what I've seen so far, looking out my window, it doesn't appear to be a threat to our country. Okay, why? Well, because I looked out the window. That's all I'm getting from the federal government. And every single person, Democrat or Republican, has been calling for the same thing. That's why I have some concern that there is something very secret going on. Because how did the people with the technology have no idea, except it's not, if they're saying it's not a threat, it must be something going on that's real top secret.
That's the thing, guys. There's something major going on that is very top secret. This is exactly what Trump is alluding to, saying the U.S. military knows what they're doing here. They need to be transparent. They need to come clean. It's interesting that this could be nuclear sniffers that are, looking for something. Whether or not this is from some foreign adversary, which I don't think, it seems more likely that it would be coming directly at the hands of the U.S. Military, potentially setting up some sort of false flag scenario, using right now this as very much like a psychological operation, as I spoke of in this video, to, scare people into believing whatever the heck they're about to do, guys. So this is getting more and more mysterious and bizarre as it continues to go on. So I'm going to continue to cover this one as this story develops. If you haven't seen my video from a couple days ago, guys, be sure to check that one out. I'll put links for all of that in the description below. Also, don't forget to check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information. And that's all for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please click the thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.